me. Welcome back to the Freebirds podcast. This is Rachel.
And this is Leanne.
And we're back, following on from our last podcast on masks, to give you an update on the current situation ahead of NPHET briefing.
Okay, so in our last episode, we talked about masks and whether or not they were going to lift the mask mandate. Now, Thursday's NPHET meeting, the 17th,
Yes.
we talked about this in our last episode. The crucial issue to be discussed and decided on in that meeting is, will they lift the mask mandate,
Yes.
particularly for schools? So, obviously, we have no idea what's going to happen there. We've no idea what they're going to decide, but Rachel, you took great steps this week to put on some pressure to lobby. You attended a rally at the Dáil.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
So we went and we had a small rally outside the Dáil on Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. And I brought with me a petition that was a joint petition. There was two. One set up by a parent, Mark O'Brien, and he had amassed 10,100 signatures. And then I had also done a petition as part of the Enough is Enough campaign, and that had amassed about 3,500. So combined, there was around 14,000.
And what was the petition asking for?
The petition is asking for the removal or the stopping of mask mandates in schools, essentially.
Okay.
So I had a cover letter with that, and we we arrived at the Dáil on 4 o'clock on Tuesday to deliver that, with the intention to deliver that, to hand that to a representative in the government buildings. So we were really lucky. At first, nobody was coming out to us. Nobody was, we were told we could throw it up, give it into the fisheries department up at the top, where they're taking on the post. And we were like, right, grand. But we were really, really lucky, because at the end of the rally, TD Mattie McGrath came out.
Oh, good man, Mattie.
And yeah, it was brilliant. We were delighted. And I had
Mattie, who has been amazing the last 2 years. He has been so vocal, and he has never minced words. He has called them out each and every time they overstepped. In fairness, between himself and Michael McNamara, they are holding up the whole show.
Mattie knows what's going on. He's a really, really, really genuine guy. And he had a chat with him, and I handed him the petition, and he said, who do you want me to give to? And I said, to the Taoiseach, directly to the Taoiseach if you can. Yes. And with that, I got a phone call from Mattie today.
Wow.
And me and Mattie are mates now. I've got his mobile.
Good man, Mattie, though. He's hands-on.
Hands-on.
Yeah.
I was like,
he's not passing this to a secretary.
No, exactly. He was full on ringing me. He said, listen, I just want to clarify how many signatures are on this, because he just had a closed envelope, so he couldn't see what was inside. And I said 14,291 to be exact, combined two petitions, done by a couple of parents. And he said, excellent, I'm going in now to the leaders' questions. I'm going in here now into the Dáil chamber, and I'll be putting it towards the Taoiseach. And I said, that's amazing, can I? And I said, oh wow. So I hung up and said, thanks so much. And I went on and had a look at the Dáil live feed, and there was my envelope, or not mine, but the envelope I had in my hands, yesterday, in the Dáil chamber, on Mattie McGrath's desk. And he's standing up and he says to Micheál Martin, I have in my hand here a petition with 14,000 signatures, done by parents out there, parents and grandparents, everybody out there wants the masks off the children. What are you going to do about it? Well
done, Mattie.
Yeah. And of course, Micheál Martin was thinking, oh, jeez.
Can we watch this?
There will be a feed. So
okay.
I had screen recorded it live, but the feed will not let any volume, for copyright reasons. Okay. So if anybody is familiar with screen recording, sometimes it's blocked. The audio is blocked. Okay. So I have the video, but I don't have the audio to accompany it. So I'm waiting tomorrow. I'll get it hopefully out this week.
So check out at Trust Your Good Ireland 2.0 and that video will be up there.
Yeah, okay. of the petition. And it gets handed across. Mattie then hands it across to the aide, who goes out and hands it across to Micheál Martin. I can't see that on camera because the camera cuts to another TD for another question. But essentially then I believe the Taoiseach had it, and then he handed it to Simon Coveney, who then was like, I don't want this, and handed it back to the Taoiseach. So it was almost like too hot to handle. They didn't want to even know about it. Yeah, which actually, a lot of people are like, oh, what's the point? But it puts them under pressure. It does put them under pressure, and they're thinking, we are being watched here, and there is a growing dissent over this mask thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's in the media. The media are picking up on that growing dissent as well. It's not, there's not a, as Trudeau would like to say, a fringe minority out there.
We are not a fringe minority.
And I think people need to understand that, and the government are aware of that, and this is why they are.
No, listen, there's no doubt people are fatigued right? And people are questioning, oh, what's the point in petitions? Oh, what's the point in going to rallies? Sure, it does nothing. And I'll admit, I felt like that for a while as well, because each time we would go and we'd organise and we'd put everything into it, and the agenda would roll on anyway. But I have come to the realisation now that the purpose of it all is to build the pressure. And we are only now seeing the culmination of all those rallies.
Exactly. And I think that's what people need to understand, is that it doesn't happen with one rally. You're not going to just fix everything with going out once or even twice.
It's about building momentum.
Consistent activism, constantly staying on top of the issue all the time.
Yes.
And it is tiring. I'm telling you,
I don't know how you do it.
But you have to constantly, do that, and it's work.
But I really do think you're starting to see the fruits of that labour now, because the pressure has built. They have been lobbied, and we need to continue it now. I really feel like we're at crunch point.
We are. And the problem, though, is while it's all great, if they decide tomorrow to remove those mask mandates from shops and everything like that, while that's great, it also means they placate everyone into what people forget about the fact that it's still emergency legislation in place until the 31st of March, and that they have that right
that
to
it's not time to sit back and relax
here,
yet.
because people are like, oh well, now everything's over, I don't have to wear a mask, clearly it's all over, and sure, what's the big deal? They have the stuff in place but they're not using it. The point is, it's still there. They can flick of a switch, put it all back in, and we have to make sure that that doesn't happen.
No, and no matter what happens at the NPHET briefing, we still have to push, because on the 31st of March, that's the sunset clause to end the emergency powers. So now they have the power to extend that one more time.
Exactly, yeah.
So, and for 3 months, I believe. 3
months to June, yeah.
I mean, if they roll that on again, when does it end?
Exactly.
So we need to continue the pressure, even if all these restrictions have been lifted, even if they lift the mask mandates, we still need to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, and that's why, as part of the Enough is Enough campaign and the Independent Campaign for Truth and Proper Healthcare, we're doing a joint one again on the 19th of March to ensure
that's a good time ahead of it.
It gives it 2 weeks before the sunset clause, so is enacted or whatever, the vote, okay. But the thing is, they actually could do it before. We're not sure when the actual vote will take place. So the legislation
it won't happen on the 31st.
No, exactly.
It'll be before then.
Exactly, it could be well before then. And it's worth noting that a lot of the politicians are off doing their different trips around the world for
they're
Paddy's
all on
Day.
their junkets.
Their junkets for Paddy's Day, and their relations.
Great use of taxpayers' money there.
I know, exactly. They're all flying, having a great old time, and all these other countries promoting Ireland when they should be here promoting the country really here.
But it doesn't matter if they're not here. We are here. It's important that we show up.
But they might. The thing is, the slight thing is, they could even potentially vote on this before they all go away instead of waiting till they come back. So we don't know. This is the problem.
So what will you do? Will you change the date?
No,
if that
we
happens?
will continue on, because the thing is, if they do vote, if they extend it, but then we still have an issue, because
you vote, you protest to say you don't.
Now,
agree
if they
with
were to scrap it all, well, then we'll review that. If they say, look, it's all
if
gone.
If they say that they're letting it lapse, then we don't need to hit the streets.
Then we don't need to hit. Then
we've accomplished our goals,
and then we reevaluate what I could campaign for in the future, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But it's over essentially. The one piece that's in there in the background, obviously, is the EU digital cert.
Yes.
Okay, so that's still there, and that is currently looking at being extended for another 12 months, and that's where we have a bit of issues. So there's a crossover there.
But we'll get to that in time. Let's deal with what is pressing issues right now. The mask mandates.
Yes.
First and foremost, let's see what the outcome of Thursday's meeting is.
Yes.
And then beyond that, we need to look ahead to the sunset clause on the 31st of March. Exactly. They are the pressing issues for now. Exactly. So fingers crossed for a good outcome from that meeting, that our children can breathe freely in schools. Although I will preface that by saying, take the masks off the children anyway.
Like, a lot of people say, well, we don't need a petition. I know. Like, I'm not.
The parents have the power.
The parents should be doing. The parents have the power here. It's not about asking the Taoiseach to take it away. No. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, they are waiting for that. Yes. Okay, so that does have to happen. Unfortunately for people out there. But it is up to you, essentially. So
as a parent, you do have the power to say no, especially if they lift the mandate for a wider society.
Exactly.
Then that's your opportunity to say, well, if we don't have to wear them out here, I'm not putting my child in one in there. Simple as that. Yeah. So anyway, let's look ahead to a good outcome tomorrow. Yeah. And we'll keep everybody posted on the protests and the dates coming
so
up.
Next day to keep in your diaries is 19th of March, 2 days after Paddy's Day. It's a Saturday, 19th of March. And you know, that whole idea of that one is to repeal the legislation.
Yes.
That is what that is
To
about.
end on the 31st
emergency.
at the sunset clause.
Yes, because remember, that still has that detention stuff in it we spoke about before. It's a serious piece of legislation and we want it abolished.
Yes. They do not need those powers,
No, they don't.
and we should have full freedoms restored.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
All right, thanks. Chat soon.
Bye.
Bye.